Stop scrolling right now, because what I'm about to tell you is going to make sense of everything you've been feeling lately. And if you've been feeling lost, disconnected, or like something is about to shift in your life, you need to hear this. Ever feel it? That strange heaviness before something big happens. Like your life is inhaling before exhaling. It's not panic. It's not excitement. It's that quiet, unshakable sense that something is shifting. It's like standing on the edge of a cliff. But instead of fear, you feel this magnetic pull forward. This knowing that you can't stay where you are anymore. And here's the wild part. You're here right now, watching this video, and you think it's random, but it's not. Nothing is random. You didn't click this by accident. You didn't stumble here by chance. Something guided you. A whisper, an inner pull. A feeling that can't be explained logically, because deep down, in a place you've been trying to ignore, you know you're not in the same chapter anymore. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly alive? Not just going through the motions, not just surviving another day, but actually alive, excited, on fire, connected to your purpose I can remember? That's exactly what I'm talking about. You're in the space between what was and what will be. And if you're honest with yourself, you've been feeling it for weeks, maybe even months. That restlessness, that strange emptiness, even when you're surrounded by everything you once thought you wanted. You got the job, you got the relationship, you got the lifestyle, but something still feels off. That in-between space is uncomfortable because your old life isn't working anymore. But your new life hasn't revealed itself yet, and that's where you are, right now, suspended between two worlds. One foot still in the familiar, one foot reaching toward the unknown. You're shedding, you're outgrowing, you're evolving into someone your old world no longer recognizes. And maybe that's why you've been feeling so isolated lately. Not because you're alone, but because you're becoming someone that the people around you haven't met yet. Now, let me tell you something that's going to blow your mind. Something most people never realize in their entire lives. A new chapter doesn't begin the moment something starts. A new chapter begins the moment something inside you refuses to stay the same. It's not about external circumstances changing first. It's about an internal revolution that makes staying the same impossible. Think about that for a second. Read that again if you need to. It's the moment you stop apologizing for wanting more. The moment you look at your reflection and finally tell the truth. I can't keep living like this. Not in a dramatic way, not in a crisis way, but in a quiet, undeniable, soul-deep way that changes everything. And here's what nobody tells you. New chapters rarely start with fireworks. They don't start with celebration. They start with exhaustion, with boredom, with the heartbreak of realizing that the version of you who got you this far can't take you any further. They start in those 3 a.m. moments when you're staring at the ceiling, wondering if this is really all there is. They start in those silent car rides when you realize you've been on autopilot for far too long. They start when you're sitting in a crowded room, feeling completely alone. You start losing interest in conversations that go nowhere. Those surface-level exchanges that once felt sufficient now feel suffocating. You're done with small talk. You're done with fake energy. You're done with pretending everything is fine when it's not. You start drifting away from people who drain you, not because you're being judgmental, but because your energy has become too precious to waste. You finally understand that your vibe attracts your tribe, and your vibe has changed you. Start questioning why you ever settled for almost good enough. Why did you accept that mediocre job? Why did you stay in that one-sided friendship? Why did you dim your light to make others comfortable? Your desires change, your standards change. Your soul starts rearranging the furniture of your entire life. Not because you're broken, but because you're becoming, and becoming requires space. Space that your old life simply can't provide anymore. Maybe lately you've been feeling disconnected from the things that used to excite you. That job you once fought for now feels like a cage, Those friendships you once cherished now feel one-sided. Those goals you once chased now feel empty, and you've been beating yourself up, thinking something is wrong with you. But listen to me carefully. Nothing is wrong with you. You're just outgrowing the skin you've been living in. And that's terrifying, because nobody prepares you for this. Nobody tells you that growth can feel like loss, that evolution can feel like isolation, that becoming your best self means leaving your old self behind maybe. You've been waking up with a strange knowing that your life has more to offer than what you've been settling for. It's not greed. It's not ungratefulness. It's your soul reminding you of the promises you made to yourself before life convinced you to play small, before society told you to be realistic, before fear told you to stay safe. Maybe you've been forcing yourself into environments, friendships, routines, or futures that you've already outgrown, just to keep other people comfortable. You show up to places where you no longer belong because you don't want to disappoint anyone. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You agree with opinions you don't share. You shrink yourself into a version that everyone recognizes, but you no longer relate to. But every time you try to shrink yourself to fit the old chapter, something inside you rebels. Your body gets tired faster. Your patience runs thinner. Your tolerance for mediocrity disappears. You start getting headaches in spaces you used to love. You start feeling anxious around people you used to feel comfortable with. That's not you falling apart. That's growth. Growth doesn't always feel like momentum. Sometimes it feels like frustration, restlessness, impatience, loneliness, confusion, because everything you once used to numb the emptiness stops working. Distractions that used to quiet your mind now amplify your discontent. The routines that used to bring comfort now feel like prison sentences. Even your favorite show doesn't hit the same anymore. And suddenly you're left with yourself, your real self, the one you've been avoiding, the one you've been too busy to listen to, the one who's been patiently waiting for you to pay attention. That's where the new chapter begins. When you finally stop running from the voice inside you, voice that says, there's more, there's better, there's something else waiting for you. The voice that refuses to let you settle. The voice that keeps you awake at night with visions of a life you haven't built yet. The voice that makes you uncomfortable in spaces that used to feel like home. Most people never reach this point. You know why? Because they're too afraid to leave what's familiar. They would rather stay in a life that hurts than risk stepping into the unknown. They choose the devil they know over the angel they don't. They build elaborate justifications for why they can't change, why now isn't the right time, why their dreams are unrealistic. They say things like, maybe next year, when I have more money, when the timing is right, when I'm more prepared. And next year becomes next decade, and suddenly they're 70 years old with a heart full of regrets. But not you if you're still here, still listening to these words. There's a reason you are not here to repeat history. You are here to break patterns, generational patterns, societal patterns, self-sabotaging patterns. You are here to become someone your past self would be proud of, someone your future self is already grateful for. Let's be honest about something. Your old chapter taught you survival. It taught you how to endure, how to cope, how to make it through another day, how to smile when you're breaking, how to function when you're empty, how to keep going when you wanted to give up. Those were necessary lessons. You needed them to get here. Honor them. But this new chapter is about creation. It's about thriving, not just surviving. It's about building, not just enduring. It's about designing a life that doesn't need an escape plan. Before, you were reacting, you were responding to life as it happened to you. You were a passenger in your own story. Now, you are choosing, you are designing your life intentionally. You're taking the wheel. You're writing your own scripture, learning that peace is not found in controlling everything. Peace is found in trusting yourself, in trusting that you can handle whatever comes, that you don't need to have all the answers, before you take the first step, that your intuition is a compass, not a GPS that shows the entire route, or realizing that the things you called intuition weren't random feelings. They were directions every time you had a gut feeling and ignored it. You paid the price every time you sensed something was off and stayed anyway. You regretted it every time you felt pulled towards something and talked yourself out of it. You wondered what if your dreams were not illusions. They were previews. They were your soul showing you what's possible, what's meant for you, what you're capable of creating. When you stop limiting yourself to what seems realistic, your restlessness wasn't impatience. It was alignment clearing space. It was your system rejecting what no longer fits. It was your soul making room for what's coming, like a tree shedding leaves in autumn, not because it's dying, but because it's preparing for new growth. And here's what nobody tells you about this transition. The discomfort you're feeling right now, it's not a sign that you're going the wrong way. It's proof that you're going the right way. Me say that again, because this is important. Your discomfort is not a warning sign. It's a confirmation, because comfort zones are called that for a reason. They're designed to keep you where you are, not where you're meant to be. They're designed to protect you from risk, but they also protect you from reward. Think about it. Every single transformation in nature is uncomfortable. The caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly by staying comfortable. It literally dissolves into liquid before reforming as something entirely new. Can you imagine? Complete dissolution, complete surrender, complete transformation. This seed doesn't grow into a tree by avoiding the pressure of the soil. It breaks open, dies to what it was, so it can become what it's meant to be. The shell cracks, the darkness surrounds it, the pressure builds, and then growth. The diamond doesn't form without intense pressure and heat. Thousands of years of compression that transforms coal into something precious, something valuable, something rare. Your discomfort is not your enemy. It's your evidence. Evidence that something remarkable is happening beneath the surface of your life. Evidence that you're being refined, that you're being prepared, that you're being transformed into a version of yourself that can hold bigger dreams, deeper love, greater purpose. You see, most people mistake stillness for stagnation. They think that because they can't see immediate results, nothing is changing. But that's not how transformation works. Transformation is not a light switch. It's a dimmer that slowly increases until one day you look around and realize everything has changed. You've been questioning everything lately, haven't you? Your career that once felt so important now feels soul-crushing. Your relationships that once felt solid now feel superficial. Your goals that once seemed so clear now feel borrowed from someone else's dream. Your purpose that you thought you understood now feels like a mystery, waiting to be rediscovered. And maybe people around you have been telling you to stop overthinking, to just be grateful for what you have, to stop being so restless. They tell you to count your blessings, to remember how far you've come, to stop chasing something you can't even name. And maybe their words have made you feel guilty, ungrateful, dramatic, lost, like something is wrong with you for wanting more when you already have so much. But what they don't understand is that your questioning isn't doubt, it's awakening. You're not being ungrateful, you're being honest. You're finally admitting that settling for less than what sets your soul on fire is the real tragedy, not the pursuit of something more. Gratitude and growth are not opposites. You can appreciate how far you've come while still reaching for where you're meant to be. You can honor your past while still honoring your future. You can be thankful for the lessons while still leaving the classroom. Your heart has been speaking to you in whispers for years. Gentle nudges, subtle signs, quiet moments of knowing. But you ignored them because you were too busy trying to make everyone else happy. Trying to fit into expectations that were never yours to begin with. Trying to be the person your parents wanted, the partner your relationship needed, the employee your job required, the friend your circle expected, Now those whispers have become screams. They've become impossible to ignore. And that's not a crisis. That's a calling. That's your soul refusing to be silenced anymore. That's your authentic self demanding to be acknowledged. That's life saying, hey, pay attention. This is important. Maybe you don't know what comes next. Maybe the path ahead is foggy and uncertain. Maybe you can only see the next step, not the entire staircase. Maybe you're trying to explain your transformation to people who only understand the older version of you. And they're looking at you like you've lost your mind. Your mom doesn't get it. Your friends think you're going through a phase. Your partner thinks you're being impulsive. Society thinks you're being irresponsible. But you know what? They're not living your life. Maybe you're afraid because you've never been here before. Because transformation doesn't come with a manual. Because growth requires you to become comfortable with uncertainty. Because evolution demands that you trust the process. Even when you can't see the outcome. But listen to me. The unknown you're scared of is the place where your future is hiding everything you want. Everything you're meant to become. Everything that's destined for you exists in that unknown. And the only way to reach it is to step into it. Try to drag your old story into a chapter where it no longer belongs. This time, you don't need to. Prove yourself. You've already proven enough. You don't need permission. You're the only authority on your life. You don't need validation. Your own inner knowing is enough. You just need to decide. Decide that the life you're building matters more than the opinions you're leaving behind. Decide that disappointing people who want you to stay small is better than disappointing yourself by never reaching for more. Decide that your dreams are worth the discomfort of becoming someone new. Decide that what's coming is bigger than what's leaving. Because here's the truth that will set you free. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your evolution. You don't need to justify why you're no longer the person they're comfortable with. Your growth is not a betrayal. It's a birthright. It's your responsibility. It's your destiny unfolding. Some people will be confused by your transformation. They'll ask why you're changing. They'll remind you of who you used to be. They'll pull out old photos and old stories. They'll accuse you of becoming someone you're not, of getting too big for your britches, of forgetting where you came from. They'll say, "You've changed," and you'll smile and say, "Thank you." That's exactly the point. But the irony is, you're finally becoming who you've always been. You're just shedding the masks, the pretenses, the versions of yourself that you created to survive in spaces that were never meant for you. You're removing the armor you built to protect yourself in battles you no longer need to fight. You're taking off the costume you wore to fit in with people you've outgrown. Your authentic self has been waiting patiently in the wings. And now it's finally time for that version of you to take center stage. Not the version that makes everyone comfortable. Not the version that fits neatly into categories. Not the version that's easy to understand. The real you, the full you, the unapologetic. You, the you that's been buried under years of should and supposed to, and what will people think? There will be days of doubt, days when you feel like nothing is changing, days where the silence feels too loud and the waiting feels too long, days when you question if you made the right choice, days when you miss the predictability of your old life, even though you know you can't go back, days when you want to give up and go back to who you were. But the seed grows underground before it grows above ground. Just because you can't see progress doesn't mean transformation isn't happening beneath the surface. Roots are deepening, strength is building, foundation is forming. You're not stagnant. You're germinating. You are being prepared, and this preparation phase, it's not punishment, it's protection. Life is making sure that when your blessings arrive, you're ready to hold them. When your opportunities appear, you're equipped to seize them. When your purpose reveals itself, you're prepared to walk in it, because nothing is more painful than receiving what you're not ready for. Nothing is more tragic than getting your dream and not being able to keep it. Life is clearing people from your path, because they can't go where you're going. Not because they're bad people, not because you're better than them, but because your destinations are different. Your frequencies are misaligned, your seasons have changed, and trying to force relationships past their expiration date only creates unnecessary pain. Life is closing doors because they lead to rooms that can't hold your future. Those jobs you didn't get, those opportunities that fell through, those relationships that ended, they weren't rejections. They were redirections. They were protection from paths that would have limited you. They were life saying, not that something better. Life is delaying certain things because your next level requires a stronger version of you. That dream you've been chasing, it's being held until you're ready to sustain it. That relationship you're praying for, it's being reserved until you're whole enough to nurture it. That success you're working toward, it's being timed for when you're mature enough to handle it. Divine timing, perfect timing, everything is happening on time, not on your time, not on society's time, not on the timeline you created based on what everyone else is doing, on divine time, on perfect time, on the time that will make sense when you look back. So stop asking the old version of yourself for permission to become the new one. That version of you has already served its purpose. Honor it, thank it for getting you this far. Acknowledge the strength it took to survive, but don't let it hold you hostage to a life you've outgrown this time. You don't shrink, you expand, you take up space, you honor your needs, you speak your truth, you don't chase, you attract, you become so aligned with yourself that the right things flow toward you. You don't force, you flow. You move with life instead of against it. Not because you're lucky, but because you finally realized your worth. And when you realize your worth, everything shifts. The way you move through the world changes. The way you respond to challenges changes. The way you set boundaries changes. The way you choose your relationships changes. The way you pursue your dreams changes you. Stop accepting crumbs and start demanding the full meal. You stop tolerating disrespect and start requiring reciprocity. You stop dimming your light and start shining unapologetically. You stop explaining yourself and start trusting yourself. You stop seeking approval and start honoring your own voice. You stop asking for permission and start giving it to yourself. This new chapter is teaching you that you don't need to be everything to everyone. You just need to be true to yourself, and the right people, the right opportunities, the right experiences will align with that truth. Everything else will fall away, and you'll learn to be okay with that. More than okay, grateful you're learning that saying no to what doesn't serve you is how you say yes. To what does that walking away from what drains you is how you walk toward what sustains you. That releasing what's familiar is how you receive what's destined. That endings are not failures. They're completions. They're graduations as you walk into this new chapter. Remember one thing: growth doesn't ask you to be fearless. It only asks you to be willing. Willing to begin before you're ready. Willing to trust before you have proof. Willing to let go before something new arrives. Willing to look foolish while you're learning. Willing to fail forward. Willing to be uncomfortable. Life is not falling apart. It's falling into place. Every piece that's leaving is making space for something better. Every door that's closing is clearing the path for the right one to open. You are not losing anything meant for you. You are making room for everything you deserve. And I know it's scary. I know it feels like you're jumping off a cliff without knowing if there's ground below. I know it feels like you're burning bridges and hoping there's solid land on the other side. I know it feels reckless and irresponsible and absolutely terrifying. But here's what faith teaches us. Sometimes you have to jump to discover you had wings all along. Sometimes you have to let go to realize you were never meant to hold on so tight. Sometimes you have to risk everything to gain everything. Sometimes you have to trust the fall. Sometimes you have to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Right now, inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, feel your body. Feel your heart beating. That heartbeat is proof that you're still here, still alive, still capable of transformation, still worthy of more. Or not at the edge of something terrifying. You are at the threshold of everything you've prayed for, every sleepless night, every silent prayer, every tear shed in frustration, every moment of doubt. They've all led you here, to this moment, to this decision, to this new chapter. You don't need to know what's next. You just need to take the next step, and then the next one, and then the next one. Because this journey isn't about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to move forward even when the path isn't clear. It's about trusting that the road will rise to meet you. Your new chapter is calling you to be brave in ways you've never been before, to choose yourself in ways you've never dared, to believe in possibilities you've never allowed yourself to imagine, to dream bigger than you've ever dreamed, to love harder than you've ever loved, to live fuller than you've ever lived, to show up as the truest version of yourself. This is not just a new chapter. This is the chapter where your soul finally catches up to your destiny. This is where everything you've been through starts to make sense, where all the pain had a purpose, where all the losses created space for gain, where all the lessons find their meaning, where all the waiting reveals its worth, where all the pieces come together, where the story finally makes sense. And when future you looks back at this moment, they'll say, that was the turning point. That was the day everything changed. Not because everything transformed overnight, but because that was the day you decided to stop living someone else's story and start writing your own. That was the day you chose courage over comfort. The day you bet on yourself when no one else would. The day you decided that your dreams were worth fighting for. The day you stopped waiting for permission and gave it to yourself. The day you stopped apologizing for wanting more and started unapologetically pursuing it. The day you finally said, enough is enough. Welcome to your new chapter. It's already begun, and trust me, what's waiting for you on the other side of this transformation is worth every moment of discomfort you're experiencing right now. Every sacrifice, every difficult conversation, every lonely night, every moment of doubt, every tear, every fear, every step into the unknown. Your best life isn't behind you. It's ahead of you, and you're exactly where you need to be to reach it. Every step you've taken, every mistake you've made, every detour you've endured has prepared you for this moment. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Everything was necessary. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every closed door, it was all leading you here. So step into it fully, completely, unapologetically. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your chapter. The one you'll remember forever. The one that changes everything. The one where you finally became who you were always meant to be. The one where you stopped playing small and started living large. And years from now, when someone asks you when everything changed, you'll remember this moment. This exact moment when you decided that you were worth fighting for, that your dreams were worth pursuing, that your life was worth living fully, that you deserved more, that you were capable of more, that you were meant for more. This is your new chapter, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be worth it. It's going to change you. It's going to save you. It's going to make you now go. Take that first step. Your future is waiting, and it's more incredible than you can possibly imagine. This is your sign. This is your moment. This is your time. Welcome home to yourself.